Craig Parker here from Parker's Property Sourcing, just coming at you with another video today. And today we're talking about the growing talk around UK property taxing potentially increasing with the up and coming budget about to happen. What we're going to look into is what might change, why it's happening, and what steps investors can take to prepare themselves and position themselves so that the potential tax increases doesn't have an impact directly or impact too badly on our portfolios. Hope you enjoy. So current market, it's slowing down a little bit, and if you've watched other videos that I've done, I've spoke about different reasons to why, but another reason could be, the budget, the up and coming budget, the autumn budget, could be a big reason. According to Rightmove, asking prices aren't really moving. Much of this slowdown is obviously due to uncertainty about the taxes coming. Investors and home buyers are waiting to see what the Chancellor announces, because it's not just investors that are getting hit with taxes. It's anybody that's purchasing a house, i.e. stamp duty. So this does sometimes slow it down, slow down the market a little bit, just to wait to see what the Chancellor says. We'll keep our fingers crossed, but you just never know. You really never know. But let's talk about what could change. Let's speculate about what could change. So several tax changes are being discussed, to be fair. So capital gains tax could rise. If you're not sure or unsure about what capital gains means, I'll give you a quick idea. Capital gains means you buy a house for £100,000. You put a £25,000 deposit, so you owe 75 grand on the house. You then sell it 10 years later for £200,000. You still owe the 75, but you've made 125 basically in profit. For example, you probably made more because of, I'm just doing it for ease and maths. So you get taxed on the £125, and that £125 is your capital gains tax, basically. That is your capital gains. So that £125 is actually your capital gains, and then you get taxed on that. So that's what capital gains is. Also, income tax levels could rise. So that's your monthly cash flow, what you're paying, depending on if it's in your personal name, if it's in a business, or if it's in a SAS, the tax is different. Obviously, I'd say speak to your accountant. Speak to your accountant. Stamp duty changes could hit landlords again, especially those buying second homes, who might also see new levies or reduced allowances on rental income. A continuing pattern, basically, of the government tightening around buy-to-lets. So stamp duty could rise. Second home. So if you are a homeowner and you want to get your first buy-to-let, that's classed as a second home as well. That tax could increase. The more money you spend on a house, the more stamp duty you pay, unless it's inhabitable. If it's inhabitable and you buy it, then you don't pay any stamp duty. So there are still little ways around it, to be fair, but stamp duty is something that could potentially rise also. So it's just something to be mindful of. So why is this all happening? Why is all this speculation happening? Why are landlords and investors being targeted as always? The UK government's facing major financial pressure, and housing has become a political vocal point, basically. Increasing property-related taxes is a fast way to raise billions without directly targeting the wider population. And it also fits the narrative of making housing more affordable, even though in practice it can hurt renters and investors alike. So again, it's one of them ones where the housing, I've said this in the past and I'll say this again, when you think about, and this is why I'm in property, and this is why I push everybody to get involved in property, because it's a wealth builder, yeah? So when you think about you yourself watching this video, what your largest outgoings is on a monthly basis, 90% of you are going to say it's where you live, it's your rent, it's your mortgage. So that's and in across the UK and across the world, that is 90% of people's largest outgoings is their rent and their mortgage. Yeah. So when you think about that, that's where the money is. So if you're a homeowner or a landlord or an investor, that's where the government's going to target, because that's where the money is. Property is where the money is, and it's always going to be, because we all need a roof over our head, basically. That's the long and short of it. So this is, why it's happening, and if the government need to start clawing back some money because of their shortfall, you got to be damn sure that property investors and landlords will be targeted for sure. So what impacts on landlords and investors? These are a few things I put together. Higher taxes mean lower profits, which is why many landlords are restructuring under limited companies. We're seeing smaller landlords selling up. So landlords that have maybe one or two properties are starting to sell up now. Reducing supply and ironically pushing their rents higher. Is what some landlords are doing as well. It might also lead to more professional investors dominating the market. If you watched my video yesterday, I spoke about this. Less casual landlords and more strategic portfolios. So this is where I start saying about having a positive outlook on everything. Some of the people, the landlords that don't want to, pay their taxes, or the landlords that don't want to be compliant with all the new compliance coming through, will start standing up and will start disappearing. But the landlords like myself that are fully compliant anyway, that has a business set up to where I have my portfolio set up to where taxes take care of themselves and I'm still making profit. This is where, I see an opportunity. When all these changes start coming, I see opportunity. I don't think I need to run off. I see opportunity, basically. So what you should do now? I'm not giving you any. This video is not to give you any, financial or tax advice. But I would say, review your ownership structure. So review your portfolio. Speak with your accountant about potential exposures to the upcoming tax rules that might be coming. And if you own properties in your personal account, check if moving them into a limited company makes sense. How much it's going to cost you in the long run. If it makes sense, go for it. If it doesn't, keep it in there. But talk to an accountant. They'll be able to give you the best advice. I'm now focusing on cash flow and strong yields. It's more important than ever right now, to be honest. And then lastly, I would say you have to stay informed, because these policies, they shift and they can happen at any time. So I would say stay informed and be ready to adapt. This is when I talk about having a good power team. Your accountant and your solicitors can advise you the best way to stay ahead of the game in these sort of scenarios. And your mortgage broker. You're building your power team so you don't have to do all the thinking. You have professionals around you, so you don't have to do all the thinking. Have professionals in each segment of your business. Building a property portfolio is like running a business, but you need professionals in each segment. And being tax ready and being ready for any changes or anything you may need to adapt to means a good mortgage broker, good solicitor, and a really good accountant. So make sure that you guys have got these in place, part of your power team. If you haven't seen the video, go and check Building a Power Team, one of my videos before. Really, really good. And accountants, solicitors, and mortgage brokers are in that power team, and they're in my power team, So just to wrap up, property tax increase may be on the horizon, maybe not, we don't know. But this isn't the time to panic, I'd say. It's time to make a plan, adapt early, position yourself strategically, and stay informed. You can follow Parker's Property Sourcing for weekly. At the moment, it's daily updates on the property market, practical strategies for investors. But after I do my dailies, I'm doing a daily post for 90 days. I'm not sure how far I'm in. I don't even know if I'm halfway there. So you've got loads and loads of content still to come from my channel. So stay informed, hit the notification bell, subscribe, comment, do all of that good stuff. And I've been Craig Parker. Until next time.